Hey, great to be back today again. Thank you, everyone that has been with us for this daily live stream. It's not going to be like this forever, but just this time in our nation, Australia, where we are going to the polls for our 47th parliament. It is very important. And as a representative of a particular cohort, which is the culturally diverse communities. Um, of course, I'm not the only one. There are other leaders in this space, but we are adding our voice for better representation. That's our key theme. Whatever we are doing this period, all we are saying that it makes sense to have more representative government at all levels. Again, I just want to start again with acknowledging country. We take this very seriously. We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, yes, including this online live stream. We pay our respect to their elders, past and present. We extend this acknowledgement to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We've been doing this for a while now. Remember how we started with this quite a busy sort of slide with all the themes. And then we went on to look at employment as a focus. And yesterday we had a look at business. Again, all these video highlights, they are on our social medias, Multicultural Leadership Network, Multicultural Professional Bridge, and other social media handles. Today is a very important topic, one that could be provocative, one that we're very careful how we provide narratives around this subject or this topic. The topic of family is sensitive by its nature. Family is almost, if you like, it is divine. It is to a great extent very personal in some aspects. So we have that respect. We recognize that boundary, but it doesn't mean that it should not be discussed, because when the family is touched, the community is touched, generations are impacted. So that is why it's part of the mix. So I just want to introduce myself, Ephraim Musagai. I contribute in this space by leading Multicultural Professional Bridge, which is bridging the gaps for multicultural members of our communities or culturally diverse communities, particularly in the space of skilled profession. But we also know that it cannot stand in isolation. How can you talk about profession without family? How can you talk about professional experience without politics? Because it's policies, laws, key decisions will ultimately affect every one of us. So today we really just want to sort of bring it into the family space. And of course, we cannot exhaust the whole topic of family. By its nature, we can't. I don't think I'm qualified enough to do full justice to the topic of family. It is multifaceted. It is multi-dimensional. It is multi-impactful if I may use that term. But in the context of the call to participate, particularly in our upcoming, in Australia, the coming polls, which is the highlight, if you like, is on Saturday here. There's already poll, there's already votings at different area for now, those that want to vote early. So what we are saying in this campaign so far, we've not made it partisan. We are not favoring one party over the other. Everyone has their leanings. I have my leanings towards a party or two, but we want to keep this non-partisan because of the nature of the campaign. So family, why should culturally diverse communities have family in mind as they go to the polls? Quite a lot, but we want to just narrow it for the sake of space and time to three key areas. Even those areas themselves alone, they are quite significant. The first one there is the issue of belonging and esteem. Belonging and esteem. Culturally diverse communities, especially migrants, when you shifted, when you moved from your place of upbringing, from your comfort zone, a lot of dislocations do happen. Now we recognize that it may be different for different levels of different people, different experiences. We know that. That's why we cannot generalize always. But generally, when you move from one regional location, from your roots, from your upbringing, and you move to another place, there is a dislocation, there is a shift. And we are not quickly saying anything we talk about here, the primary responsibility for your family rests with you. We cannot put everything on government or politicians or members of parliament. They have their own families to worry about as well. But we know that there is a bigger picture. We know that the policies, the laws will impact families, including culturally diverse families. So the whole issue of belonging, when you move, that's why I brought this chart on the left side or the right, depending on where you are looking at this screen, about a pyramid. We all know the common Maslow theory of needs, how that, unless psychological needs are met, you cannot really do much about belonging, esteem, psychological needs, physiological needs, food, shelter, basic needs. If they are not met, you cannot be talking about esteem. And we know that when people actually relocate, and this applies again, we cannot make it, we cannot so much generalize, but some people shifted, some people migrated because of wars. Some places there were poverty, other areas it was just security. So they fled to a safer place. And Australia must be given the credit. The country always put up their hands to want to help. That is why we cannot start from a place of entitlement. We must start from the place of gratitude, because Australia has been very good to many people, including myself and many others in the same space. But some people also come as skilled migrants. Personally, that's how I came, where you're really looking for better opportunities for your career. And Australia being a relatively new country, there are lots of opportunities So some of us, when we saw that advert that, okay, skilled migrants are required in Australia, we decided to take the leap of faith, which is quite a leap. So when people come in with all those initial needs, whether social needs, like I said, with the skilled migrants, better opportunities, uh, uh, basic needs, the thing is that initially those needs are met. Um, that I left the reference there for you to know in case you want to look into the details of the key points here. This particular pyramid is taken from one of my books. I'm not trying to sell books here, but I just wanted to let you know that we have a couple of books in this genre, in this series, similar messages, well closely connected, but that particular pyramid is taken from the last one, which was earlier this year, Migration and Family, and the secrets of sustainability for culturally diverse families. So that is where that was taken from. And the point here is that many people may not understand as much as culturally diverse families themselves, that when people come over initially with all these basic needs, they don't remain there. People grow, people have aspirations. So at some point in time, while these cohorts appreciate the safety that has been given by a new country like Australia, while they appreciate the needs that have been met, and really these are well appreciated. But at some point in time, they also have needs for belonging. So unfortunately, um, different stakeholders keep people at that lower place of need. Why they have moved, the people themselves have moved to a higher need. So there is there's a gap there. Um, so unless there's that awareness, unless there's that understanding that culturally diverse families as well want to belong. They want to be part of the decision making. They want to be the best they've always aspired to be. They want to achieve that high esteem. Uh, so this is one of the challenges. And I think the earlier other stakeholders recognize this reality, that when people even come in, even as refugees, they don't remain refugees. They are not perpetually refugees. When people come in with need for safety, and yes, some people were really running from threats to their dear lives. But among those people are engineers, are nurses, are people with high ambitions. But the system, when they are kept in that frame, whether knowingly or intentionally, they are kept in that mindset that that is all they are meant for, then that is where some of these angst, some of these uh, 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 sort of dissatisfaction begin to creep in. So people do move up. And I think until we have adequate representation in our corridors of power, where policies, where laws, where key decisions are being made about families, uh, this disconnection will keep being there. So I think, again, this cannot be explained fully within 15, 20 minutes because we don't want to do this live stream more than that period because it was never meant to exhaust everything. They are highlights. So the sense of belonging and esteem. Culturally diverse people want to be leaders of businesses as well, leaders of government institutions. Of course, we're not saying to stamp people onto it. I know there is a big challenge when you bring up quota system, affirmative actions, which is what we're not going there today. That's not even the focus here. But there are qualified people. There are people with the capacity, and they don't want to remain just at that basic level. They have what it takes, and they want the opportunities. So that representation, even at the level of parliament, will help to address some of these gaps. The gaps in belonging, the gaps in esteem. Every human being has that need. Even Maslow recognizes it, that every human being has that need. They want to belong. So irrespective whether they came as refugee, they came as skilled migrant, they came as somebody in need at some point in time, and thankfully Australia as a country and some other good countries open their arms, welcome them in, give them what they need to settle. But people do not expect to remain at that level. So representation would ensure that such gaps are bridged. So belonging and esteem. Balance. Everything we talk about here eventually comes, and this is one of the core themes whenever I write, because we must always talk in terms of balance. That is why I started that we cannot expect government or local Australians or whoever to take care of everything for us. We cannot expect people to remain refugees forever. We cannot expect people to always ask for handout, expect others to do what they need to do. It comes to balance, including family. Members of parliament will not be expected to be the one to come take care of our families, whether you are a culturally diverse community or not. We must take the lead. And that is why anything we talk about here, it has to start from home. It has to start from the called or culturally diverse people themselves. No one will do as much as you will do for yourself. So let's think sustainability. Let's think balance. Let's not be entitled. And as families, we know there are issues. Like I said in the beginning, I can't even start going into those deep issues. And somehow I don't feel that I have that qualification to do full justice to the subject matter of family. But all we are saying here, better representation, even at the top level at parliament, will help culturally diverse families, because sometimes people that have known it, have experienced it, can approach it better. And when we start looking at 30 years from now for family, we have hope when there is better representation. We can't finish it today. So I'll leave it here for now. Let's continue the conversation at our different social media handles. All the best. See you around. Bye-bye.